Hey there, how's it going guys? Today we're gonna build a simple currency converter using JavaScript. Let's check it out. Suppose you have $7 million and you wanna convert them to pounds. Hopefully. Okay, let's say you have, for example, $5. This means 3.85 pounds. Now we can also convert. So let's say £5 gives us $6.50. Alright, that's it. Now before we start the HTML, I want to mention that this file is going to be very basic, so we're not going to use anything special, just simple stuff. And if you're only interested in JavaScript, you can jump into the timestamp mentioned below. Okay, now let's get started. And I want to mention that I'm using a package called Atom Live Server, which enables live reload, and you can download it from the preferences, the settings window. Okay. Now the title of it is gonna be currency converter. Okay. Now let's link the CSS style.css. I'm gonna speed up a little bit with the HTML and CSS because the goal of this video is the JavaScript. Okay. Now we'll call also the JavaScript, which is main.js, and now we'll start the first thing in the body section, which is the button, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Okay, we'll create a div, and then in which we'll create the button. Okay, let's give it an ID of change, and then let's write invert. Okay, should work. There we go. Next section is gonna be the boxes section. Okay, let's say ID of boxes. Okay, now the first box is gonna be about the input box. I give it a class of box as well as another class of inbox. Now in which we're gonna have another div to specify for the label. Okay, I'll give it a class of label, and then the label itself right here we're gonna say $, and then here it should have an ID of US dollar. Okay, which is the same thing that we're gonna write in here, US dollar. Okay, I think that's cool. Now there's another section for that first section, for that first box. Okay, it's called the content, excuse me, plus of content. Now right here we're gonna print out no, we're not gonna print out the it's about the input. Okay, now the type of the text, type of the thing we're gonna write is number, because we're gonna write some digits, and we're not gonna have any name. We're gonna just have an ID called $, and there's no name, but instead we have a placeholder. Let's say number of dollars, and then 3 dots at the end. Okay, that's it for the first section. Now for the first part of the section, excuse me, let's save it, and there it is. Now the next thing is about the output box. We'll comment this out, output box. All right, now let's start with the box, and then this is going to be output box. Okay, again another div with the class of lab, and then the label through pound right here, and then an ID called UK pound. Excuse me, pound. Alright. And in here we say UK pound again. Spaced. Next section is gonna be the content, but this is the output content. Okay, I'll say content again. And in here we say output. The name is result. And then an ID of out. And in here we need to specify the type, which is again number. Now right here, we're not gonna write anything. This is gonna be made with JavaScript, I think. Now that's it. Now the output box should appear right here underneath the UK label, but since it doesn't have any content, it doesn't show. Let's try it out, something like this. And there it is. And this is not the goal of this thing. Now I think that's it. But the final thing is the logo. Okay, let's say section. Let's say class of con. Since the currency converter, this is the thing. Then H2, and we'll say con. Excuse me. Alright, that's it for the HTML. Now we're gonna need to tweak that a little bit so we can have a good interface for the user. Alright, now that we have finished HTML, we need to move on to CSS to refine what's going on in the interface. Now let's start with the HTML, height 100%. Okay, then body, text line, recenter, everything, and font family, Helvetica. Okay. Now next thing is the button. We'll say button color white, and then the background color 1C for bees, and then the border 1 pixel solid, again 1C for bees. Next up, we're gonna have a border radius 4 pixel, let's see, good. And then width and height with 5M, and then the height 2.7M. We're gonna have padding 5 pixel top and bottom in auto, right and left. And then we're gonna have a margin top, let's say 2M, and let's make it bold. And then we're gonna have a transition for the hover effect. So let's say 1 second is in, out. And finally, letter spacing 1px. There you go. Now we'll move on to the hover effect now. I'll say button, hover, and I'll say background color DL, and then border, again 1 pixel solid DL. Let's check it out. There it is. And then we do have to do cursor pointer and letter spacing 2 pixels. There you go, there it is. Now what's next? We'll start with the boxes now right here, and I'll say boxes after, and we'll do that. We're gonna adjust the two boxes, the input and output, and make them spaced. So we'll float one of them to the left and the other one to the right, so we can have a grid layout. So to do that, we're gonna say content nothing, and then display grid, and finally clear both. Next up, we're gonna say again boxes, say margin 3M, half M, and auto for the rest. Okay, now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get back to boxes now. Now I'll style every one of them is 2 boxes. So we'll say the box width is gonna be 40%. Okay, as you can see, and the background color is actually, I want to see 4 B's. There is the height 7M for each, and you'll see that. Okay, next we're gonna make some border. Let's say border radius, excuse me, not border but just border radius, 4 pixels. Okay, and we're gonna set a padding bottom to 0.2 M. That's it for those. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get back to the input box and say imp box, I will say float left and right, in the out box I'm gonna float it to the right. There it is. Now the content in here, in there, and in here should get refined. So I'll say content, and then padding, I'll say 2M and 0. There is the label boxes, label section in each box. I need to some adjustments. So I'll say lab background color teal, and there it is. Now next time we're gonna say we're gonna have to make the border of the top left side and the top right side of each box. So we'll say border radius 4 pixel, and then 4 pixel, and 0 pixel, and 0 pixel. And there it is. Now I still have something else, so we'll say padding top 6 pixels. Much better. And then I think we need to change the color to white. Okay, and then you see that content in here, we'll change it. I'll do it actually to color to white though. Okay, nothing is changing here because I haven't set yet this thing. Now what's next? I think, yeah, we need to refine this box in here, and to do that we're gonna have to write to tweak the input box. Okay, so I'll say input background color, excuse me, kind of soft light, maybe not really light, and then the width of 60%. Okay, height of 2n, a little bit better. Let's make it bold, so say font weight bold. Okay, and then you see this border in here. I need to fix this, so I'll say border 2 pixels solid 1C triple V's for 4 B's, excuse me. And there it is. There should be a padding in here, or let's just center line the text. So I'll say text align center. There we go. Much better. Now the final step is actually this one. So we'll just say con h2, and I'll say color 1C and then margin top, I'll say 3M, and then padding, I'll say auto, and then 2 pixels, and there is a border top with 4 pixel solid tail, and then I think we need to do the same thing for the bottom. Okay, there is a width actually 60%. In the center there I will say margin left 20%, or maybe margin right. And there it is. Now we'll move on to JavaScript. Now let's go ahead and check the JavaScript file. But before we do that, I want to show you how we should get started. So the first thing we do is whenever the user types something in this box, in here, we're going to take this value and multiply it to the specified multiplier for the pound, okay, to get the output in here. And that's it. Now let's start it. The first thing I'm going to do is to get this input element and this output element as well. So I'll say const dollar document dot get element by ID. I'll say dollar. And in here we'll say out and then out again. Alright, now we'll add an event listener to the input box, and whenever we type something in here, we need to run the function that will convert the value to the pounds, okay? So I'll say dollar dot add event listener, so which is the input, and we'll run this function called to pound. Okay, now let's create this function. I'll say to pound, and then let's get at first the value. So I'll say const in value, the input value, and I'll say dollar dot value. Okay, let's test this out. I'll say alert in value 1. Okay, since it's 1, and that's right. If it's 2, there we go. Now let's get rid of that. So I'll say now let pound result equals to 0 to initialize this one, and then pound result is actually going to be in value times 0.77, and in here we say out dot inner HTML equals to pound result, and there it is. Let's check it out. There we go. So the converter is working very well, but I want to tweak it a little bit, so we'll add the value, we'll add the string called pound and a space, and there we go. Let's check it out again. There we go. That's cool. Like, oh, you see this huge number in here? To fix that, we'll fix the output value in here this way. So we'll say no. Okay. We'll give a method to this called toFixed, and we'll say how many digits after the point you want to add, and I'll say 2, and there we go. Now let's say it doesn't change. That's cool. Alright, I think that's it for the first part. Now we'll move on to the second part, which will happen when we click on that button. Now I'll get that button. We'll say const change equals to document dot get element by ID. Let's say change, and then we'll add an event listener to it, so whenever we click on it, we render the function called invert. Now let's create it. Okay, let's call this function. Then we'll say const us equals to document dot get element by ID, and we'll say US dollar, and now we'll get another one which is UK and change it UK pound. Now you might be asking why I'm doing this. I'm gonna take these two labels, texts, so US dollars in here gets changed to UK pounds and vice versa in here, and you see the placeholder in there, it should get also changed to number of pounds instead of dollars. Alright, to do that we'll say us dot inner HTML equals to UK pound, and the UK dot inner HTML equals to US dollar, and for the dollar itself placeholder is gonna be changed, and it's gonna be instead now number of pounds. And there it is. Let's test this out. Let's try that, and there we go. Now what is next? Now I think we should move on to the conversion, and we'll say dollar dot add event listener again. So whenever we have an input, we'll run this function, but now it's called to dollar instead. Okay, you will say that we need to create it, function to dollar. Then we'll take the value again, constant in value. It will say dollar value. This might be confusing. You can change the variable's name. So we'll say let dollar result is equal to 0 to initialize this. Okay, and then dollar result is equal to in value. Now it's divided by 0.77 instead, and we'll do the same stuff we did with the other one. Set to fixed to and out now in HTML is and then plus dollar result, and that's it. I think that's the whole thing. Okay, let's check it out. Okay, that's working. I'll see you now. Alright, the problem is simply this V need to be uppercase, and everything will work fine, I think. Okay, there we go. And there it is. How you doing? Alright guys, hope this was worth you. Hope you got some benefit. But before we leave, I have some recommendations. I think you can do more with this app. Try to make some improvements, like making it a bit more large, so it can convert much more currencies. I mean, you can make a drop down section instead of this. Okay? And about that button, I think you can add a counter to it so the interchangeability becomes more fluid. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching guys, and see you in the next video.